It's time for Old Man Logan to pass on. This is the Comicstorian channel where we take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues, and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Today we're going to start our coverage of Dead Man Logan finally. To give you a quick recap as to how we got here, Old Man Logan fell into this universe after the Secret Wars event. He then went on a 50-issue adventure trying to discover what this world is like and how he can prevent his future from happening. That journey ended with a battle against Maestro, where they both seemingly died, and then came into this, the Dead Man Logan series. And we've been getting requests to cover it for quite some time, so here it is finally. Along the mountains of Fort Wells, Canada, the snow begins to cover the remains of the nearly frozen Logan. He would remain there if it wasn't for Cecilia and a few others finding him, along with the beheaded Maestro. Cecilia says that there is a faint pulse, but Logan is going to need immediate medical attention. Glob looks over and says that that's not a Hulk, right? Because he looks like a Hulk. Forge kneels down, wiping the snow off, stating that it sure looks like it's a Hulk. Whatever it is, it's dead now. Must have been one hell of a fight. As time passes, Logan wakes up on the operating table, quickly popping his claws, ready to kill something. Cecilia tells him to relax. He's in a safe place. They're actually back at the X Mansion. Nothing but friends here. Logan asks, "How long?" And Cecilia looks into her clipboard, telling him 11 days. Does he, mind putting the claws away? As Logan retracts his claws, he sits back up on the table, and Cecilia says that his Regenix readings have spiked. His healing factor is trying to stop it from tearing away at his organs, while also trying to combat the adamantium poisoning. So she's going to assume that he took another dose of Regenix after she told him that it would do this to his system. Logan tells her that he needed it to take down the Maestro. He couldn't do it without his healing factor. But Cecilia says that that is besides the point. He overloaded his healing factor. His system is done. His healing factor can't keep up. By her estimates now, he has roughly 12 months to live. Logan gets up and he leaves, putting his jacket on, and Glob asks where is he going. Logan asks, "When you found me, did you happen to find a backpack lying around?" Glob says they did. He can get it, but Logan takes the bag, telling him that he has lived longer than most. Hasn't always been good. But the good times make up for the bad. But he's ready to move on. Be with his wife and kids. He just needs to settle a couple of things first, though. Make sure he lives this world a little better than he found it. Which happens to bring Logan to the bar with no name, throwing the bouncer through the window. As he walks in, he tells everyone that the first one who can tell him where Mysterio is gets to walk out of here in one piece. Everyone else is going to get their ass kicked. The D-list villains tell him that they ain't snitches, so Logan pops his claws, telling him that he did warn them. He rips, he tears his way through the crowd as Miss Sinister sips her wine, stating that the testosterone here is so thick you could cut it with a chainsaw. Logan looks over. This isn't your usual scene. All these lowlives are nobodies. She says that she was out looking for some bad guys, though after seeing this, they might not be bad enough for her tastes. Logan begins to walk away, stating that if he had thought for a second that she knew where Mysterio was, she'd be a pile of meat on the ground like the others. Once Logan leaves, Miss Sinister grabs a knife, telling one of the villains that she isn't quite impressed. All that, and he didn't say anything. A lot of little secrets locked up in that head of his. The man asks why he can't move, and Miss Sinister stabs him, telling him, "Because I don't want you to. But it's okay. I'm a telepath. Gives me an unfair advantage." Logan makes his way to New York, and that's where he hopes to find clues as to where Mysterio could have gone. But as he searches for one of Mysterio's old lairs, a voice tells him that Mysterio hasn't been there for more than a year. Hawkeye walks out with his arms up, laughing. "Ha! Looks like I got the drop on Logan, huh?" Logan tells him that he picked up his scent about a mile back. "You smell like Axe body spray, coffee, and desperation. Hard to miss." Hawkeye clears his throat. "Anyway, isn't this a bit outside of your wheelhouse? Mysterio is usually Spider-Man's problem or Daredevil's." Logan ignores him, but Hawkeye says, "Look, I know where Mysterio is, but before I can say, you're gonna have to fess up as to why you're looking for him." Logan turns to leave, telling him, "That's my problem. Doing it my way and..." Hawkeye stops him. "Look, can't we just skip this? We've done it before. I'm gonna pester you over and over until you finally get annoyed and spill the beans." Logan pauses and considers it. "Fine. In my timeline, Mysterio, nearly every single superhero, X-Men, Avenger, were killed, and the blood is on my claws. Mysterio made me think that I was protecting them, that I was really killing them. Can usually see past the illusion, but this cost everyone their lives. After that, the world fell apart, which that day has already passed here. But if Mysterio could do that in my timeline, well, we have to make sure that he can't here. A short while later, Mysterio is lounging in his mansion as a beautiful woman asks if he'd like more wine or perhaps something else. Mysterio smiles, and Miss Sinister tells him that this is really pathetic. The illusion fades as Mysterio sits up in his wheelchair asking who is she. You're not supposed to be. Miss Sinister tells him that she came to take him away from this place, though now she's starting to have second thoughts. Mysterio tells her, no, I'm where I belong. I'm done with that life. Let me just live out with all the other crazies. In here there's no Spider-Man, no Daredevil, hell, no Deadpools. Just let me rot in peace. Miss Sinister leans in asking, what if I told you you were meant for greater things, to be the one who finally turns the tide for the villains? I did a little poking around in Logan's head, and it was you who ushered in the new age. Mysterio thinks for a moment and then waves her off, stating that he isn't interested. He is staying. Miss Sinister then asks what if she told him that in about 5 minutes Logan was going to come in here and slice him open from stem to sternum. A few moments later at the front desk, Hawkeye tells the receptionist that he is an Avenger and he has to see Quentin Beck. The receptionist asks, really? Who are you again? Hot guy? Hawkeye tries to put the charm on her to get information, but Logan's phone rings and he looks at Hawkeye telling him to just do whatever that is while I take care of this. Glob tells him on the line that they've been trying to get a hold of him. Forge was looking for him, said that he had something to show him. Logan says, right. Well, just tell Forge that if he needs me, call directly, but I gotta go. As Hawkeye comes back, he yells that she knew who Stingray was, but not him. That hurts. Later that night, Logan sneaks into the psychiatric ward stating that he should have done this from the beginning. He just needs to find Quentin, and the woman Mysterio was using for his illusion asks, Quentin? Quentin's gone. Gone. That lady took him away. Logan asks, does she know where? And another patient tells him that he isn't going to get anything out of her. She's crazy. Hell, they all are. Hawkeye then asks the man, does he know anything? And if he has information. And if that information is valuable, how about they get him a candy bar and a soda? Then they'll talk. So a few moments later, the man is biting on his candy bar, asking, you couldn't have gotten me one without nuts? And Hawkeye tells him that he should have been more specific, now talk. Logan sighs, stating, just get the man a chocolate bar without nuts. Hawkeye grumbles and walks off, and Logan says, look, I know Miss Sinister came here. What did she say to him? The man tells him that she asked if he wants to kill the X-Men. That's crazy, right? And they left. I guess Mysterio figured it'd be safer to go with that lady. But that's all I know. Hawkeye returns ready to hand over the candy bar, but Logan tells him to throw it away. The guy doesn't deserve it. We need to go. The next morning, in an undisclosed location in the Pacific Ocean, Mysterio follows Miss Sinister, asking if they're in the right place. Where are the guards? Miss Sinister points to one of the lasers, pointing at them, stating that if these people wanted them dead, they'd be dead. Now put your game face on, or whatever you do with that dome. As the door opens, Red Skull's daughter, Sin, asks if this is the man who's going to help her realize her father's dream of killing the heroes and ruling the world. Crossbone yells, Hail Neo-Hydra! And shortly after, all the soldiers behind him chant, Hail Neo-Hydra! Miss Sinister says, yes, Hail Neo-Hydra indeed. A little while later, Spider-Man runs around to the corner trying to escape the Neo-Hydra agents when suddenly dozens jump out and begin to spray him with bullets. As Spider-Man bleeds out, one of the agents says, this is so cool. I honestly thought that was Spider-Man. The illusion fades on the dead prisoner, and Sin asks if he could do that for anyone. Like, if she wanted it to seem like she was killing Captain America or, I don't know, Magneto? Mysterio says yes, but Miss Sinister says that she didn't bring Mysterio here so that she could blow off some steam with a fantasy kill list. He was the first step in an attack orchestrated by her father to take down all of their enemies in one fell swoop. They can rule together, plenty of land to go around. This way, they can avoid the mistakes made in Logan's reality. Sin asks what sort of mistakes, and Miss Sinister tells her that she was stomped to a pulp by Giant Man day one. Sin yells, all right, let's do this, but first, bring out another prisoner. Make it look like Black Widow. Later that night at dinner, Sin says that they need to look to sell those who have some interest in this. Doom wants a chunk of this new world they're building, but he's gonna have to cough up the dough. As she goes on, Miss Sinister shouts that she's being such a child. They are on the eve of one of the greatest victories that either of them will ever see, and she's worried about money? She should start worrying about taking this seriously. And Sin says that her whole life has been about this, about world domination, to outdo what her father couldn't. But who's to say that they can't have a little fun along the way and make some extra cash? Mysterio says that he's not some child's birthday magician. He is a master of illusion. He will be. Crossbones stops him, asking, "Are you gonna take your helmet off? How the hell are you supposed to eat?" Mysterio says that he's not really hungry, and Crossbones gets up, dragging him off, stating that he and the Master of Illusion are going to visit the little boy's room. He throws Mysterio into the bathroom, stating that they're going to have themselves a little chat. That little display back there with Spider-Man was great and all, but have you even think of trying a stunt like that on us? Mysterio yells that he forgets that they need him. "You low-rent Punisher! Without me, you have nothing, so watch your tone when addressing Mysterio." Crossbones gives him one last shove and says that he's been warned. Mysterio then goes into one of the stalls, taking off his helmet, sweating, stating, "Damn it, Quentin, what did you get yourself into this time?" Meanwhile, over at Forge's lab, Forge tells Logan that he's a hard man to get a hold of, and Logan says that he's been just a little busy. Forge goes on stating that it's not often that they find a piece of machinery that has him stumped. It was quite refreshing. As Logan looks up, he sees what Forge is talking about and says, "My God." Hawkeye asks, "What is this?" Forge says that it's a time-traveling device found in a cave about 100 feet from Logan's big showdown with the Maestro. Logan says that Maestro destroyed it, but Forge tells him no, he damaged it, and now it's fixed. The tech used to make it is incredibly advanced. Took a week to just begin understanding it. Watch. As Forge activates the machine, a portal opens up and Forge tells everyone to follow him. A few seconds later, everyone is now in the wastelands, with Hawkeye asking, "What is this place?" Logan looks around. It's home. After a few moments of taking it all in, Logan says that he can't, not yet. And after returning to Prime Earth, Logan and Hawkeye go back out on the hunt, taking out more and more villains looking for Mysterio, while one of them tells them to hang on. He might be able to help. Hawkeye says, "Right," as he pulls on his bow, and the man tells him to chill out, Arrow, dude. Logan says that he suddenly knows where Mysterio is hiding, and the man says he always did. Dude owes him money, but he's starting to think that Mysterio won't be able to pay him. Figured if he won't pay, that they might be for a chance to know where he's at. So, are you two willing to pay up? Later, as Logan and Hawkeye walk through Times Square, Hawkeye asks, "Really? This seems a bit much for their man." Logan tells him, "Look, this didn't happen to you. So maybe it's hard for you to understand, but the things that Mysterio did, the guilt that I've had to carry, just get to the other side of the street. I'll flank him on both sides." When Logan looks up, he sees the Sinister Six and says, "Of course Mysterio brought a crew. Not that that's going to help him." Logan takes up the Regenix vial, injecting himself, stating that he knows that this is killing him, but without it, his healing factor is shot. Can't risk letting Mysterio get away. This'll just be the last one, because after this, he won't need it. Logan charges in headfirst at Mysterio, but Hawkeye yells for him to wait. It's a trap! And Taskmaster blocks Logan's attack, telling him, "Stop! We don't want to hurt you!" But as we see Hawkeye's point of view, Cap pushes Logan back, stating, "But we will if we have to, Logan." Logan swings again, telling them not to think. He won't kill them if they just let him get to Mysterio. He then leaps over everyone, but what he sees is Beetle flying up at him, taking him into the sky. In reality, it's Iron Man, and he's asking, "What is it this time? Mind control? Are you on drugs? It's the bath salts, right? Just a matter of time before a mutant gets his hands on that stuff." Logan stabs into Iron Man's arm, ripping off some of the armor, telling them, "You're delaying the inevitable." Meanwhile, over in a penthouse watching the fight, Sin says that this is so much better than she was expecting. If she'd known that Mysterio could do this, she would have brought him in years ago. So much better than Cosmic Cube nonsense and stuff like that her dad was on about. Back on the ground, Hawkeye runs over to everyone, stating, "Logan doesn't know what he's doing. We've been hunting Mysterio because he thinks that Mysterio is going to do something like this. He did something like this in the world that this old Logan came from." Cap says, "You think Mysterio's doing this to Logan again?" And Hawkeye tells him, "We had never found him. Mysterio went into hiding, but I think he found us." Logan claws away at more armor, with Iron Man pushing him up using his thrusters to shock Logan in an attempt to stun him. Logan then begins to laugh. "Ha! You have to try better than that." And Iron Man radios in asking, "Is there any chances of assistance up here?" She-Hulk jumps onto Ghost Rider's car and the two begin to drive up a nearby building. She jumps off using the momentum, cracking Logan in the head, launching him back to the ground. Back over at the Xavier Institute for Mutant Education and Outreach, Glob sees a news report about the fight and runs out of his room yelling, "No, no, 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 no!" He runs into Jubilee's office yelling that they have a major issue. Logan is fighting the Avengers. She sighs, stating that they do not need this right now. A whole new Avengers versus X-Men. What the hell is Logan thinking? Well, Logan had us prepare for this. He knew it was coming. That's why he was hunting Mysterio. Back in Times Square, Cap looks over asking, "Is he?" And She-Hulk looks back stating, "Hulk, squash beauty Canadian! Make you road pancake!" Logan groans and then swipes at She-Hulk's ankle, getting up stating, "No more. I'm done playing with the Sinister Six. You can't protect Mysterio." He charges towards what he thinks is Mysterio, grabbing him, getting ready to bury his claws. But Hawkeye calls out for him to stop. 3 arrows shoot into Logan's back. And Hawkeye tells him, "Please, don't make me do this." Logan turns his attention to Hawkeye, and Sin bursts out laughing. This is on every news channel. As she is watching, Miss Sinister says that she really hopes the show is worth it. Worth giving up their only chance at ruling the world. This is starting to get a little too stupid. Sin follows her out of the room stating, "Wait, hey, sure, this looks like we're screwing around, but what we're planning, it's huge." Miss Sinister says that this isn't how it was supposed to work. Right now, they're supposed to be working with Doom, Kingpin, Magneto, and the others. They should have been following the blueprint. But right now, she's like a child on the new toy, running off, shooting her gun so that everyone knows that she has it. There is no recovery from this. You had one shot and you ruined it, Sin. Sin asks what is her problem. They still have Mysterio. It's their secret weapon. Miss Sinister says that in Logan's future, the future where they were successful, her dad killed Mysterio after all was said and done. He killed him so that Mysterio couldn't do the same to them. Sin sighs, stating that she's right. She just forgot is all. Now she's off to grab some more beer. Does she want anything? Miss Sinister pauses for a moment and says that she will take a Pinot Noir. The higher the cost, the better. As Sin leaves, Mysterio's illusion of her fades and he says that he knew it. Back outside, Ghost Rider drives his car into Logan, with Logan jumping on the hood, beginning to tear it apart, stating that that is a pretty sweet ride. Jack-o'-lantern, what's under the hood? As the two crash, Logan jumps onto what he thinks is Jack-o'-lantern and then stops. The illusion fades and he sees Ghost Rider asking, "How? No, this isn't." But before he could say another word, he collapses. Cap runs up telling Ghost Rider that he stopped him, and Ghost Rider tells him, "I didn't do anything, that..." Cecilia and the other mutants walk up stating that it was them. They got it from here though. Cap tells him, "Now hold up a minute. Logan just tore up all of Times Square and nearly killed Iron Man. We're not gonna let him be taken." Jubilee says that Logan had them prepare for this eventuality. They're going to deal with him. Cap begins to tell them that this is bigger than the X-Men. He is a danger and they can't just let him go like this. As Glob and the others assist getting Logan secure, Jubilee says that they have an obligation to Logan. They're going to do everything in their power to ensure that this never happens again. While the mutants leave, Iron Man asks if they're really going to let this happen, and Cap says that they're not going to set off another Avengers vs. X-Men war right now. No one wants that. Hawkeye then says that he'll go with the mutants to see what the failsafe is and keep an eye on things. And over in an alleyway, Mysterio sits and he's watching. And that is the first 3 issues of the Dead Man Logan series. Now check back on this channel every week, probably on Fridays, and you will see another chapter of Dead Man Logan as we go through all 4 chapters of it right here on the Comicstorian channel. And if you want to have a say in the next videos that we cover here, because Dead Man Logan was another vote by you guys, go to patreon.com/Comicstorian. We're putting up a lot of votes, we're putting up a lot of discussions over on the Discord, and it's all tied to our Patreon mini producer tier, where you get to help us decide what videos are going on this channel. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, and I will see you next time right here at Comicstorian.